Do you trust your crypto assets to centralized exchanges that actively sell your private information and front run your trades? Would you like to buy and sell your assets without any middlemen, intermediaries, or robots? Do you like paying slippage, fees, and having the price go up as bots steal from you on low liquidity decentralized exchanges? The solution is nodemarket.io. Set your guaranteed buy or sell price. No middlemen, no slippage, no bots ever. Buy or sell 1, 10, or even 10 million tokens, and you never have to worry. OTC trades are between you and the seller or buyer, guaranteed by audited smart contracts and no human middlemen. Nodemarket.io.
All right. I think we got all the stuff. I think we got it. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Howard in the house. What up? Let's see. Get twin tokens. Yeah. Well, today and tomorrow's it for the twin tokens. So the round one part of it's over. The second part of it's going on right now until tomorrow. Then we cut everything off. Then we wait until hello. Then we wait until we think Friday. We think Friday is the day that we can roll out. Well, let's see. Yeah, the 5th. We think the 5th. If not, just like any time after the 5th. And then we will roll out the gasless contracts, which will allow people to, when you're banging around here on Node Market, like right now when you go to make a listing, you list tokens, you connect your wallet, you do all that, and then there's an Ethereum fee to list, there's an Ethereum fee to cancel. All that's going to go away. It'll just be a little fee to process the transaction on Ethereum when someone takes your order, buy or sell. Because remember, we're going to now have sell orders and buy orders where you can offer to buy something, which is the same as selling something. You're just selling something into another token. But for instance, let's say that you wanted hypercycle tokens and you have USDC. You could say, I want to sell USDC for hypercycle tokens at X price. And people can come take that order. So again, it's a zero custody solution where you don't have a middleman. So basically, if Brandon or I become corrupted, we can't steal your shit. That's the problem right now that exists in crypto exchanges. There's no way to get around it. If they become corrupted, any one of the thousands of people that work at those exchanges become corrupted, they can steal your shit. That's never going to change. If a bank, well, it's the same thing, right? If a bank or some sketchy trader at a firm like, Fidelity or whatever, if they become sketchy, dirty, degen, they owe money, somebody needs a kidney transplant, whatever the reason is they justify for stealing. If they want to Sam Bankman fried chicken all your shit, they can. If they want to Alex Mashinsky all of your shit, if they want to Do Kwon your shit, if they want to, you get it, right? Like if they want to steal your stuff, they can steal your stuff. That's the problem with custody. So what we're trying to do is create a non-custody Web3 full kind of immersive experience, but that has tools that are intuitive like you would expect on an exchange. So buy side orders, sell side orders, and no fees in the middle. But there have to be some fees to complete the transaction. So that would be on the final buyer of the transaction. So that's how that's going to work. So that's cool. Yeah. All right. So we covered that. Okay. So so we have 1.6 million, I think, left. That's up there. 1.6 million twin tokens left. That's done tomorrow. So after tomorrow, that is it. You can wait. Now, then when we roll out on the 5th or the 6th or whatever, the gasless contracts, then you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to kind of participate in that. Everybody will at that point, because then it's just, again, it's still non-custody wallet to wallet, but there will be orders, there will be offers. We will give everyone their tokens that they got, and hopefully they won't just be flipping them. I'm sure there'll be some flipping, but hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully the idea is that you'll be powering your twin. I don't have the final numbers yet on what it will cost, for instance, to fund your vault, because you'll have a vault with all of your data encrypted. And I mean, there'll probably be a whole bunch of really kind of cool features to it. But one of the things is that it'll be anonymized and kind of encrypted, so that even if someone pilfered your vault, there's not much they could do with it without you. And so, but anyway, you'll have your twin vault where you have all this data that you're kind of uploading as you build your twin and make it more organic. And then, at some point, some of you may just be building a twin to pass on to your progeny or to your friends or your family. Some of you may be building a twin to actually go out and do work for you. Some of you, I have a buddy at, I won't say his name, but he's at Netflix. He's going to build a twin to handle a lot of the kind of menial tasks that he's typically doing, to kind of because he has to end up training every time he goes on a new show. He has to go train these kind of like sub production assistants to do certain kind of tasks that are redundant. So he's going to train them to do that. That's kind of cool. So he's going to basically build an assistant, which again, you can multiply them. It's not a twin you should think of it as twins. You have a little army of yous. And so if you can imbue them with really cool, either industry or you specific information, you can cast those little suckers far and wide. So I think it's gonna be neat. This would be neato. But I like as a research assistant and stuff, that's going to be cool. Chris, let's see. Question: is there any word on what exchange the twin token will go and when the token will be available to the public? We don't know what the TGE is yet. And this is, you guys need to probably think of it in this way. This is a true utility token. You're using the twin token to build your twin. If you're just trying to get involved to flip the token, you may end up making money, but you'll probably miss the biggest point of it. This is an actual, it's like hypercycle, which is a utility token. So if it's never on any exchange, it makes no difference, because you're using these tokens to build this twin. And for many of you, you're going to monetize your twin. You're going to put it out into the world and have it make you money. And that's more valuable than flipping the token for 3 cents on some shitbag decentralized exchange or some other exchange. If you have a true utility token, little thought experiment. There's 100 and so many people here. To think about this for a second. If it's a true utility token that you're going to use to build your twin, to power your twin, to enable it to do all sorts of cool stuff, right? Because it's got to go interact with the world. So if you're doing this with the token, what difference does it make if it shows up on Coinbase or Binance or any other exchange? Like, what would you be doing with it? So then if you think, okay, well, if that's the case, I'm going to be powering my twin through a Web3 wallet, whatever sentience looks like, maybe it's that, whatever, are the future machinations of whatever wallet you use, whether it's Coinbase wallet, which again is not Coinbase, whether it's MetaMask or some derivation of that. So it's you and your wallet, basically your wallet interacting with your vault. Again, this is just twin specific as a utility token. So why do you need exchange listings? I just think that's a thing of the past. Why do you even want centralized exchange exposure? I don't. And the Coinbase effect, everyone, it's fucking dead. Coinbase doesn't do shit for any project anymore. You guys see that, right? Like, that's not just me. Every one of you can go and look. Projects launch on Coinbase and they absolutely tank. Immediately, they go into the toilet. Look at that last token they launched. Seam. What did it went? It went immediately to $16. It's $6 right now, maybe $7. You got your ass handed to you if you bought into that bull crap. And so you start thinking, well, maybe the old idea, this old paradigm of having a token spammed all over a bunch of centralized exchanges doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so I get that you want some exchange exposure just so you can freely access the asset. But I just don't think that old model of getting on a bunch of launch pads, getting on a bunch of, begging. Do you know what it takes to get an exchange listing? Do you know how bad they stick it to you? One, most exchanges charge a listing fee of $1 million or $1.5 million cash up front. If you want us to list your token, put $1 million in our pocket. They say, well, for time and all the effort. Bullshit. It's all this stuff is programmatic. But anyway, you want to get a coin listed on Coinbase? Bend the knee and drop your pants because they're going to stick it to you. And that's just the listing fee. Then you have to give them a dump truck of tokens, which you're never getting back. Those are just free tokens you're giving them. Millions of free tokens, sometimes tens of millions. Why? Well, we got to be market makers. We got to create these markets. We can't, if we don't have any tokens, we can't make a market. Which when they say market making, they're the ones collecting fees every time there's a trade, every single trade. Great. So they got the free tokens, they got the listing fee, you're never getting any of that back. What do you get as a project? Our tokens on Coinbase. Okay. And well, it went from 50 cents to 10 cents on day one. Oh, that's badass. What's next? I guess we should go appeal to Binance so we can go get another shitty listing over there and give them, well, I don't even know what it is on Binance, probably more. So you go what? Go give them $2 million, $2.5 million, $5 million, and 20 million tokens. Pretty soon, 10% of your tokens are stuck in shitbag centralized exchanges, which may or may not exist 3-4 years from now. They're stuck in illiquid ass decentralized pools, DEX pools, right? When you look at well, anyway, we could do if you really plumb the depths of how kind of illiquid these DEXs are, that's why these projects keep getting nuked. There's not enough liquidity. So they took one of the assets and they slammed the asset to the ground. They went in and they pilfered the other side of the liquidity pool, sucked all the liquidity dry. It's not stealing. Whatever. Your shit's gone. And everybody else that's watching their portfolio, the price goes down from, 85 cents to 2 cents and they all panic. Because one liquidity pool got nuked. So unless you can provide so much liquidity that it is impossible to pervert the price of either of the assets in the liquidity pool, your shit is at risk because fucking math. And I just don't know that the old model. So those are your options, basically. It's not $1 billion to list. It's not $1 billion. It's a few million. But yeah, and in some cases, depending on the project, sometimes they really stick it to you. Who knows? It wasn't $1 billion, but who knows what it cost? See, Coinbase was very anti-XRP, anti-Ripple, anti those executives, as they should be, because it's a bunch of creeps. But Coinbase, we'll never know what Coinbase actually received in gratuity to list XRP, but I know they did not want to do it. And that's back when there was a Coinbase effect. Now there is no Coinbase effect. There is a very muted Binance effect. And, launch pad listings are bullshit. It's just a way for launch pads to skin you. And if you're a project and you need runway, like you need to hire executives, you need to do like company stuff, keep the lights on, computers, all that, like you're running a legit company, lighting money on fire by spamming your token out to a bunch of half-ass, trust me, most of these launch pads you've never heard of, you'll never hear of them. They're for spammy, memey bullshit projects. And all people do is, Brandon can tell you, they just look at the market cap, and if it's low, they buy it. And the minute it gets up above a certain, they sell it. They have no interest at all in the project. So from my perspective, I would have no interest at all in listing on spammy, douchey, flippy, pump and dump bullshit dexes and launch pads. It's all bullshit. That's old 2017 bullshit. That's over with. Anyway, it's going to be a brave new world where we don't have to participate in that crap. Let's see. Nick, until you make your twin after 30 days from TGE, will there be a place in Singularity DAO to stake until? No, there's not going to be any staking before the TGE. And there will be plenty of arbitrage trading back and forth. So just as a, for instance, kind of put it in your mind like this. You have the N-Twin token is trading at Node Market. Let's say it's 20 cents. And let's say they do the TGE and the price of the token somewhere else is 30 cents on some DEX. You say, okay, over there it's 30 cents. Over here it's 20 cents. Well, those of you that have the token would sell the 30-cent one and buy the 20-cent one, right? You would sell the expensive one and buy the cheap one and just wait, because 30 days after TGE, you'll be able to swap them one for one. Matter of fact, you're not even going to have to go anywhere to swap them. We're going to handle it right there on Node Market, because no one else apparently can be bothered during the fucking holidays to do any work except for us. Everybody else, I got to take 3 weeks off for Christmas. Why? You guys don't do shit the whole year. What do you need to take Christmas off for? The whole month? Europeans are lazy. I know. I lived in Europe for 7 years. Guess what? They're lazy. I felt myself getting lazy. I had to get on out of there. Just drinking wine and talking about, and then what do they do during their break? For a month, talk about how bad work is. Get off the couch, you lazy dicks. Do some work. Have something to complain about. Anyway, no surprise, Europe has, shitty markets for pretty much everything. Like, God, life really is pretty simple when you just reduce it to math. That's why I urge you guys to really dig into game theory. It's like having a crystal ball, man. No, not Scrooge. My personal portfolio, not counting my AI stuff, because I don't count the AI stuff because that's kind of new, is already higher than it was at the height of 2021. I'm the opposite of Scrooge. I'm doing great. But when I see people get pilfered, like over the weekend, the price of Bitcoin's pretty good right now. It is, like 45 and change. Hold on, let me see. Okay, 45.2. We're at 1.74, almost 1.75 trillion market cap. We're doing good, right? Still, $225 million worth of leverage got unwound, shorts and longs. Degenerate, dumbass gamblers. Most of it on Okay, was it OKX? Okay, I think it's OKX. Anyway, people going too long with leverage, people going too short with leverage. So what happened? The price got down to like 41.5, 41.4. A bunch of people got nuked that were stupid leveraged. And a bunch of people went the other way. So when it got to 45.8 last night, people went long. And of course, it's 45.2. And so they all lost money like dumbasses. Like, it is so simple. Let's see, there's 198 people. How many people in here think it makes sense to take leverage in crypto? How many people think you need leverage to get it done? I'm sure there's like 3 degens that are like, I was late, bro. I missed the party. I got to catch up. You're never going to catch up. If you're late to the party, you will never catch up, but you can do good for yourself. You are absolutely never going to catch up. I want that to resonate. For the 3 of you that are here that have been here for like 14 seconds, You're never going to catch other people that have been in the market since 2016. Listen, I didn't get into crypto until 2014. Guess what? I'm never going to catch the people that were here in 2010. It is what it is. Period. You're not competing with other people. You're competing with your own portfolio as it is right now, this great second day of January 2024. You're just competing with yourself. Stop, I guess in this sense, you kind of do want to put on the blinders. All right. Should the footer read cutoff date January 5th? Not, oh yeah, probably should. It should read 2024. Yes. Let's see. Let's do some editing. All right. Okay. Yes, that's the key. You're just competing against yourself. And so you want to make the best decision for yourself all the time. What is the best decision for my portfolio all the time? Just for me. And no leverage, man. No leverage ever. Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about digital twin is you'll have several of yourselves to actually help yourself. Wow, we're gonna have to really work on our use of pronouns this year. Okay. Anyway, today we're going to talk about leverage and no, just kidding. What we're going to do though is we are going to go and have some discussion about volatility. And as volatility starts to increase, I think that a lot of people are going to have a very hard time. It's what I noticed from 2017. I noticed it a little bit there. I really noticed it in 2021, especially from people that had been 2018, 2019, 2020. They finally got out of that bearish phase. They got into a bull market, even though it was a stimulus-led, bullshitty bull market. But the point is, it was a bull market, or something like that. And numbers went up, and everybody kind of behaved really stupid. And so I saw a lot of people that I thought were pretty smart doing really stupid stuff. And that had me really think about that it's not just the prices going up. It's the volatility. It's the big up and the big down and the big up and the big down. There's no such thing as cautious leverage. Hoop and Tony, if you have leverage, you're making a mistake. You're gambling on top of gambling, because now what you've done is you've increased the chances of some kind of default event by 40%. You're trying to play catch up. I would urge you not to. You won't. You'll leave those on. Some of them will win, and you'll think, hey, it works. The ones that lose, you'll just say, I got unlucky, because that's what we do as gamblers. When we lose, we're unlucky. When we win, it's because we're skillful, obviously, right? And then you will create some kind of organized, weird lattice of justification and rationalization, and you will continue on with that. I urge you to reconsider. I doubt that you will. Okay, good. Your AI box arrived with a broken on-off button. That's some bullshit. If you reach out to their team, they will fix it. They will get you a new box. You will get a new box. Broken on-off button, man. Ooh, I would ask them for a discount, then have someone fix it. Because if it's just a broken on-off button, probably somebody at any computer repair place can fix it for like $20. But then I would ask for like $100 discount, because this is bull crap. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, never luck in the driver's seat. Oh, buddy, I'm not your dad. I have no children. I mean, look, all I can do is warn you guys. I've seen 3 of these bear bull runs. I've been exposed to the crypto space since my brother started mining, before all of you, before me, in 2010. He had over 2,200 Bitcoin, I think. So you don't, no one has to pay any attention to what I'm doing. You can go on and do what you're doing. Like gamblers don't probably listen to a lot of advice on their way into a casino. And if they win, because they're good at gambling, like you can be good at luck. I'm good at flipping quarters. Okay, oh, good. Hope that works out. Or you can build some kind of strategy that, and also the kind of things that you're employing based on game theory and cognitive bias, which are kind of the main two features of the way we try to think as investors. Those propagate out into your life. It's not just what you do in crypto markets or what you do in investment markets, but this kind of stuff propagates out into the rest of your life. So I don't know, man. And every time people say, well, I this or well, I that, it's all rationalizations. We all rationalize. Even when we know we have bad behavior, we rationalize it. You got to stop doing that. Not you, any particular person. All of us, me included, we all have to stop doing that. Let's see, Mario. These are the last 2 years. I really didn't know what to, don't know what to expect. My portfolio is up, yet almost doesn't feel like the real deal will be here. Oh, yeah. So, Mario, you've got a different kind of like permanent hypothesis theory. Permanent. What is it called? Permanent impoverishment theory. It's like people that kind of survived a Great Depression. They only know Great Depression in their mind. And so I think there's like it's a thing called the income hypothesis basically. But what happens is it actually changes the way that you think because you've been in that position for so long that you've meaningfully changed your behavior. And so it's almost like you don't believe there can be an up market because you've experienced so much sideways and down market, which is why it's going to be even tougher for you when prices go up not to exit too soon. This is why you have to program your exits. Yeah, that's the way. Charlene's nailing it. Program in your exits. And it doesn't have to be 20%. It can be whatever you feel is comfortable, but you have to find a place to exit some of this stuff. You know, you read these articles like Plan B, who is the stock to flow guy for Bitcoin, and he's predicting by 2025, his charts show $1 million Bitcoin. You're like, oh my God, $1 million Bitcoin. That's a 22x from here. A 22x. Holy smokes. A 22x in 2 years would be really good. But I wouldn't sit and wait for that. I would be selling along the way. I'm sure that at some point we will have $1 million Bitcoin. Seems likely, especially since governments print money all day and all night and never, ever stop ever. But that's not, I don't think wait for $1 million, take some profit. Wait, you take profit along the way to make your actual human life meaningfully better. If you don't do that, what is the point? All right. Let me see. Are you still selling calls? No, I'll tell you why I'm a bit uncomfortable about Ledger X. They're no longer part of FTX, which is good. So not part of that bankruptcy. They sold to somebody else. Matter of fact, they texted me, not texted, hold on. They said in a message, if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. They sent me a message. Hold on. Was it options, institutional chat? Oh, yeah. Here it is. They said that they are now owned by somebody else. They sold to, I don't know where it went. Let me see. Mary, maybe? Oh, yeah. We are no longer affiliated with FTX. MIAX acquired us last spring. And I'll tell you, acquisition of Ledger X from FTX debtors. So they say the problem is that they it's illiquid as hell. I mean, you look at these options boards and they're just empty. There is like nothing. The open interest is dust. Like on many of these things, single digits. Even for the strike, like the this Friday, January 5th, I'm looking, they're empty. There's some calls that are, but the call with the heaviest open interest, 547 contracts, that's 5.5 Bitcoin. 5.5 Bitcoin. You can't do shit. Oh man. So I'm going to say for now, no. Okay. Let's see. I rode the last big bull up, but I didn't take money off the table because more was coming. Then the winter hit. So the question is, when do you take profit? 2x or 10? Beth, buddy, bro, homie. We got rules, man. What is the rule? From your dollar cost average price, whenever an asset hits a 10x, 1,000%, you take 20% off the table. This is a rule. 10x, take 20 of your dollar cost average price. You immediately sell. Now you know how to find the price of your assets, so you know how to do this. What you paid, what the current price is, what's the multiple. Now, the only time I would take a 2x on something is if it's no longer an investment. This is for an investment. An investment is something you're going to hold longer than a year. You believe this is an asset that could do a 10x. Now, this is my rule. You do whatever works for Beth. But this is my rule. I don't care what it is. If it hits a 10x, I take 20%. Period. No discussions. Done. Book it. I book the profit. Now, after it's hit a 10x, now it's 2x, take 20. Every time it doubles after that, you take 20. Why? Because math, man. Here, let me show you. Let's go over here. Let's see. That was that one. Let's look at the NewNet is one that a lot of people experienced. A lot of people got this one. Okay. This is just a little chart that shows you the NewNet exits. Okay. Most people had a cost basis of 1 or 2 cents. Let's say even if it was 1, most people had a cost basis of 1, but at 1, okay, at 10 cents, if let's say you had a total of 100,000 tokens, which anyone, that'd be $1,000. So at a 10x, meaning 10 cents, you sell 20,000 tokens, you pull $2,000. That's twice your initial investment. Off the table, see you later, bye. It never goes back. That money is gone. That way the universe can never get it back. You win. Even after tax, you still win. You win, and no one can take your win back. Okay? Everything else is house money. Now, every time the price doubles, 20 cents, 40 cents, 81, 63, 20, so on and so forth, you sell, 10x, take 20, 2x, take 10. You sell 10%. So you have 80,000 tokens left. You sell 8,000. That leaves you with 72,000. At 40 cents, you sell 7,200. At 80 cents, you sell 10%, 6,480. You see where this is going. And so at the end, on your $1,000 investment, you're at 2,000, 3,600, 3,450, 6,000, almost 11,000, almost 12,000, 20,000, 36, 30, almost 40,000 on your 1,000 investment. Close to a 40x return, and you still have more than half your tokens left. So what it does is it keeps you in the game. It keeps you in the game long after you've exited and exited and exited and exited. Look at this. You've had 6 exits. You've done a 40x, and you still have half your position. So to me, just one dude on the sidelines, that seems like that worked out to me. If it doesn't 10x, you have to decide again. Beth has to make decisions that are best for Beth. These are just the ways I play. If I've already invested money, I've done all this research, I put all this thought into it. I've read a white paper or talked to ChatGPT about the white paper, or talked to Claude 2, whatever, or both. and I've decided I want to buy this thing, but wait, I go do my 5 T's. I look at the team, the timing, the tokenomics, the technology. I ask myself, why does this token exist? I ask, can this thing achieve use, utility, and wide scale adoption? And if it checks all those boxes, then I think, hey, this is a possible 10x. And the reason you wait for a 10x for me, the reason I wait for a 10x is because you're not going to meaningfully change your life even on a 2x. A 2x, a 3x, those are things that you probably no longer believe in. And you're like, these aren't going to meaningfully change the world. And if they're not going to meaningfully change the world, you shouldn't have them in your portfolio anyway. If you don't believe in them, don't own them. So yeah, I mean, you've got to make your decision. Now, sometimes you're in a project and it looks amazing, and then the information changes. Some people get fired, something changes, and you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm interested in this anymore the way I was. But it still may go up in a bull market, a bullish whatever that we're about to face. Okay, fine. Maybe I take a 2 or a 3x and I take my money off the table. But that's when it's become a trade and not an investment. So you go into everything as an investment, hoping that it has the potential for a 10x, but sometimes the information changes and you have to deuce out. If you have to deuce out, yeah. But yeah, you're not going to get rich off a 2x or a 3x. I mean, again, rich is a mindset, wealth is a mindset, poor is a mindset, but you're not going to get the only thing you're going to do with those little ones and twosies, it looks cool, you feel good, but you're not going to demonstrably change your life with those kind of things. You need some home runs, right? Getting on base is good, but you need a few home runs and having a little bit of patience. I can't go and read the emails of all the people that exited Bitcoin between $0 and $1. I'm not waiting for the price to go back down. I'm out. $1.14, $1.14. You fools. I'm out. Okay. How'd that work out for you? Well, he could have done 69 times better. 69,000 times better. I want you to think about that for a second. That dude that said, it's on there. You can go look at the tweet. It's floating around. You fools. I'm out. It's like $1.12, $1.14. What do you mean, That son of a bitch probably lives in a trailer. He could have done 69,000 times better. Wait till Bitcoin a couple years from now hits 1 million. Say, when he's looking back at his life, you think he's going to regret, that one thing that he missed 1 million X on? Hey, what was that one thing you were investing in, Bob? Bitcoin? Yeah, how'd you do? No, I did good, man. I got out at $1. Oh, sweet. But isn't it 1 million? Yeah, no, I fucked that up. Yeah, I have a regular life and I live in a fucking trailer. Can you imagine? Oh, God. I don't blame the Bitcoin pizza guy. Anyway, that's a different story. All right. So let's switch gears. All of this is mindset based. And what is investing? Well, investing is mostly veterans waiting for rookies, punters, and degens and amateurs to hand us their money. Craig. No. Hey, listen, I sold some Bitcoin at 25,000, but it was to buy hypercycle at 5.5 cents. So technically I got that Bitcoin is now worth 175,000. So that worked out. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit. He sold it. Oh God. Yeah. An insurance sales guy. Guess what? He's going to be selling insurance for the rest of his life. Can we do another possible 10X? I'd like to do a 10X on all these things, on all these assets. Okay. Do I still feel that hypercycle is going to be a home run for those that, wait. For those that got in early? Well, I think it's still a home run from here because of the wealth effect of running nodes. Now, if you're just gambling on the token, I don't know if $10 hypercycle makes sense in the near term. I think that $3 to $5 hypercycle makes a lot of sense, especially when compute rolls out. Remember, that's only like 3 months away. January, February, March. You wait till you see those tokens disappear. And because people are going to be running compute, getting paid. There's going to be no tokens available, like none. So, that to me is $3 to $5 hypercycle tokens. That's why when people are like, you see the tokens are 60 cents, 65 cents, 70 cents. Man, there's going to be a lot of regretful posts and tweets. Oh man, I should have. Hey man, you do what you do. So, and again, I don't like to talk about price too much. This isn't really that. This is more about the headspace for it, but just like a little bit of kind of like brain kind of common sense. And by the way, I have one of those. I'm not going to go through it, but we even did one for hypercycle about exits. And so my guess is we're going to see something in this range. I mean, even on that, look, oh God, I don't want to go into it, but it should be clear. So yeah, I mean, yeah. And then the node splitting is tons. So I just think once people put their tokens to use in the compute phase, I just think it's going to be very anemic. There's going to be no tokens available. Those DEXs, forget about it. You will get your ass handed to you on DEXs. So really the only way to get these tokens is going to be OTC. Like period, full stop. We'll be fine. There's still dummies. I see it all day long that are going and getting their ass kicked on DEXs. I don't know. People are stupid, man. But like I guess they'd rather lose money. I'll show you. I'm not going to use an OTC. I'm going to do it on a DEX where everything is a shitty market order and I get the worst possible price. It's so bad. You're like, what do you, pride makes people poor, man. Super poor. Anyway. So for me, this one is probably, I think tomorrow we'll do, in the normal show, we will talk about some loose predictions for where we think things are going to go during this, what I think is going to be a bull market. All right, let's switch gears. Let's get into kind of a little bit more kind of game theory space. We need to talk about volatility because it is important and there's a lot of it and a lot more is coming. And most of you are not prepared probably to deal with it unless you've been here. Who here? There's 200 people. Who here has been here since 2014? No. Sorry. Who here has been here since 2017? And not the end of it. You didn't YOLO in towards the end of it just to get your ass kicked. But who came in mid, like summer, early fall 2017, before we saw Bitcoin pull that runner? Some of you did. Okay, Tim, you were there. When the nodes split, do we get tokens? No. When the nodes split, Raphael, the tokens split with the nodes. So meaning if you had 1,024 tokens in one node and it splits, you now have 512 in each of those two nodes. After 10 splits, each of your 1,024 nodes has one token each. It takes at least one token. And that's it. That node will function with one token. Does that make sense? So there you go. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't. Yeah. So, okay. Let's talk. Well, I got to get some good volatility music. This is some good music for volatility. Okay. But now we have to play our little thing. Hold on. It's going to get good.
Hello. You're late.
That's great.
You're bad at math, but I'm giving you an A+ in confidence.
Just doing what I gotta do.
Extra credit.
Okay. When we talk about kind of navigating market volatility, a lot of you just think that means, prices up and down, and that is part of it. The other part of it is kind of to what someone else was talking about, kind of coming out of that impoverished income kind of scenario where your brain has changed a little bit because you've been stuck in bear market blues for 2 years or whatever. Now, again, if you're investing around that, you don't care because you've done really good because AI and all this kind of stuff, but forget about all that. Let's say that you had no exposure to any of that and you've just been getting your ass handed to you. Now, Brandon and I are big believers that all the money that you're going to make is made in a bear market. It's not made when things turn green. There's not, your portfolio goes up, but you will look back, you will lament with a kind of bittersweet, like, oh, everybody here is going to be like, oh, I should have ... I wish I had ... No, it's too late for that shit. I had an order in over the weekend since when Bitcoin went down below 42. I had orders in and none of them got filled. I don't know if it was just bad luck. I don't know what it was. It was on Kraken. I had orders for Bitcoin at 41.7, didn't get filled. 41.6, 41.5, 41.4, 41.2, and 41 flat. None of them got filled. Somehow Tim got filled. Tim got anyway, point is, I had a bunch of limit orders set. 0 got filled. I can't regret that. I mean, would I have been up substantially? Yes. I did what I thought was the right thing. None of them got filled. It is what it is. I don't know what to say, but I can't look back on that with regret because I made the right decision. It didn't pan out because of, I don't know why. I guess weird liquidity anomalies, because I saw the price on the exchange get down to 41.2 for a moment. And yet not one of my orders got filled, which is makes me think there was some shenanigans at work. But the point of all that is that dithering is that you're going to make a lot of decisions during this kind of weird market that we're going to face for the next, who knows, 12, 18, 24 months. Who knows what this is going to look like, but it's going to be more up than down, more green than red, but the moves are going to be bigger. It's going to be more chaotic. There's going to be a lot of people looking back, and second guessing their decisions. So part of that is just understanding that the emotional, turmoil of volatility. And so as you embark on this journey to understand these different markets, especially the volatile waves of the cryptocurrency market, you need to grasp not only the mechanics, but the emotional roller coaster that you're going to find colors your financial decisions. So we're going to look at how to navigate this, try to be a little bit more wise, a little bit more steady. And again, we always reduce everything into game theory, reduce it to math, get as much emotion out of the picture as possible. So you want to kind of picture the investment market as a big ocean. You can look at it as a chessboard, hence the DALL-E 3 image. But if you look at it as like a big ocean, each investor is a sailor on their own little boat navigating through the water. And sometimes it's very flat and quiet, and sometimes it's like super crazy, stormy. And your ships, perhaps you have one boat, perhaps you have 10 boats. You have like a little group of ships. Those are your investments, each of those little boats. Okay. And the weather, that is the market's volatility. So every one of us has to understand that volatility is going to meaningfully affect the ocean, which meaningfully affects all of our little boats, all of our little investments and your goals. And some of them are going to get capsized and get nuked for no other reason than just because. And some of them are going to do great. And you can even think of the ocean as Bitcoin in a sense. I probably think of the ocean more as stable coins, as more money enters, but that's you choose to populate your allegory or your metaphor, whichever way you want. So now we think, okay, we got to think about balancing return and risk. So in the ocean, your treasure is the return on your investments, but it's guarded by, well, not any of the Hutu, whatever, those rebels. Those guys all got blown out of the water by the Navy last week. But whoever's left, there are pirates. And you have to strike the right balance between the pursuit of gains and the avoidance of loss, right? Loss avoidance. We've talked about that, where people will put more emotional investment in loss avoidance than in profit gain. And in high volatility markets, like the bullish markets that I think we're going to be witnessing, this can change from, this very calm sea to a very, raging storms and tsunamis and stuff very quickly. And so a lot of people are going to cast their strategies aside, and they're going to go from being very calm, very, thoughtful, pragmatic investors, to being basically gamblers. Many of you will start to gamble in this market, thinking, oh, I can catch up, and you'll hit a couple, and then you'll get gutted. You'll get left behind. And until you get left behind, you won't understand this. But once you do get left behind, you'll hit one or two and you'll be like, yeah, 100%, 180%. Oh, I just lost a 20x. And then you won't get back in, kind of like pulling out of a lane in the highway, and then this lane slows down. You're like, crap, I just moved. No, go back to the original lane. You won't do that. And you'll watch those assets that you exited looking for them quick gains go straight up. And you'll never be able to catch them, and you'll have another story that you can talk about. So you need to create, before we get there, some strategies to steer through volatility. One, diversification. Okay, we've talked a lot about this. Risk assessment, emotional discipline, which, and, stay informed, right? So diversification. So you have multiple tools and kind of routes at your disposal. Routes, not roots. Roots are like beet roots. And all. You have different routes. Spread your investments across different investments, the most that you can mentally deal with, right? Like, don't have 75 assets, because then any one of them that really moves doesn't move the whole pile. Like, don't make a mutual fund from a hedge fund, right? Stay very focused, but do look to mitigate your risks within the, like in the space. You have AI assets, you have data assets, you have store of value assets, things like this. You do want to try to mitigate risk by at least having exposure to the different sectors inside this space, or whatever space you invest in. Risk assessment. Know your own limits, right? Understand how much volatility you can handle without panicking and like abandoning ship. Okay. And as the volatility increases, especially as it first starts to get volatile, back off a little bit, like sit on your hands if you have to, so that you don't react. You want to act, not react. Emotion is like sewn into reaction. Whereas you were very pragmatic when you first acted, when you first looked at the investment and made your decisions. So you want to maintain emotional discipline. And when we see a lot of green markets and things going all kind of crazy up and down, you start thinking fear as things go down. Oh no. And greed as things go up. Oh man. And so it leads to very hasty decision-making, which is the opposite of what we did originally, right? And you need to maintain a very steady hand. You want to stick to well thought out plans for your exits, for your entrance. There may be other assets that appear. You got to be careful that you're not just getting sucked into the hype. Don't take money that you took off the table for profit and dump it right back into the market. The whole point of taking profit, like into stablecoin, is that it's actually profit. It's not just punted right back into the market. And there will be these waves of market sentiment up and down. And you're going to see a bunch of news articles, the most bullshitty news articles you can imagine on both sides. Bitcoin's going to $4. And you're going to see a bunch of assholes come out and say the stupidest stuff on the other side too. Bitcoin's going to $1 trillion. Like all this kind of crap. None of it's all noise. It's all noise. But the Johnny-come-latelys, and there are going to be a lot of them, they are going to come in with their $6, their $8, their $1,400, and they are going to bully all sorts of assets, mostly gambly, meme coiny bullshit assets, up and down. And then you're going to start focusing over there. Oh man, look at those. Those guys are getting rich. No, they're not. One or two people are sticking it to many, many thousands or tens of thousands of people. It's just Ponzi. And some will get away and some will eventually get indicted and some will go. Who cares? You got to stay away from that. Be informed. Stay informed to different market trends. Look at economic indicators, macro included, which I know no one cares about macro, but it's important. And, remember the beauty pageant analysis, kind of the metaphor that, all of the fundamental analysis that we can do is important to understand what we own. But most people will not do that. And what most people will do is they will just punt and they will get tips from their Uber drivers and people they hear on random airplanes and a bunch of stupid ads on YouTube and all this kind of old crap that you get, exposed to. And I'm always thinking, okay, Nash Equilibrium, the beauty pageant, Nash Equilibrium. So in game theory, the concept of Nash Equilibrium is that players find a position, investors, where considering everyone else's choices, they've achieved the best possible outcome, meaning no one else can do anything any better with the rest of us doing anything different. We've all made the best possible decision to have the best net effect return. So in investing, this means settling on a strategy that brings you peace of mind and aligns with your personal goals. Even as markets go up and down and get all wonky and all this kind of stuff, you're not competing with anyone else. You are trying to estimate at the beauty pageant who people are going to vote for as the prettiest one, but you still have to do what's best for you and your portfolio and your life. So you're not competing with them. You are investing against the crowd. You want to stay ahead of the crowd, right? You want to figure out who the contestant is that they're going to vote for before they vote. And then you're going to go in there and invest in that in contestant first. But you're not competing with anybody in that crowd. Everybody's in a different state. So you're just competing with your own portfolio. And you don't have to get a 10X this year. You can get a 10X by doing a 3X and a 3X and a 1.5X. Like you can get there if you expand your process a little bit to say that, I don't have to catch up. I don't have to achieve this right now, this second. I can achieve this over 3-4 years. Yes, for a second, forget about the robots coming. That's another discussion for another day. But for now, as an investor, you still need to have a little bit wider, a little bit more long-term perspective. So as these markets are fluctuating up and down, you're not panicking. You're peaceful. You can sleep at night. And if you can't sleep at night, sell your shit. Right? We used to say, like, I used to lose sleep at night because I had too much Bitcoin. And now I lose sleep at night because I don't have enough Bitcoin. Like that's the bull market, bear market, like cycle, I guess. Think of the idea of repeated games, a more iterative strategy. And this is kind of a little bit longer term thought process, but it's not a one-time voyage. You're going to be investing or managing your investments probably forever until the robots come. So every decision you make is not an isolated event, but it's part of a continuous investment saga. It's an iterative game. And so again, like the sailor who's learning from each journey, use your experiences to refine your own personal strategy, kind of understanding, whatever your own maybe emotional weaknesses are. If hey, I behave this way when these kinds of things happen, you can prepare for it. And then you can kind of persevere by adapting to a longer term strategy, which helps you get by those emotional pitfalls a little bit easier, right? Like, it's coming. Okay, it's going to be easier to deal with. And we assume, even people that are irrational investors, they're still rational players. They're not complete. They may be ignorant to the facts, but they do want to make money. They're not punting their money into crypto to get poor. They just don't have experience, and they don't have an education. But they are being as rational as they can, though uneducated. Right? So you see a lot of bad behavior. You're going to see a lot of very flawed behavior, and you go, that's stupid. But you can't plan for irrational behavior. You can only assume that everyone's being rational. If they're being irrational, there's nothing to assume. You can't know the mind of a crazy person. All you can say is that most people won't be crazy, and those are the people I'm investing against. And everybody else is going to lose their money anyway by gambling. So who cares? It's going to end up in your pocket anyway. So you want to adapt to change. We've been in a 1.5 to 2 year, very frigid, bearish phase. This is changing, right? And so you have to be flexible that things are changing. Don't have done all of that work during the bear market to exit with a 2x or a 3x. Now, again, you got to do whatever makes you feel comfortable, and maybe that's good enough. I mean, so if you're sitting on $100 million and you knock out a 3x, life's looking pretty good for you. But I don't know how many more bites at the apple we're going to get. And I think you want to get this one right. And if I was to guess, this is the last, in my opinion, this is the last big one. This is the last easy one, the last easy bull market that we are going to get in crypto. It's going to get a lot harder. Now, on the other side of it, for those of you that have been kind of educating yourselves, we will be able to find, diamonds in the rough and good investments forever, because we know how to analyze these projects as good as you can. But on the aggregate, the free money fountain, the easy wins are going to come over the next probably 24 months. And I don't think we're going to get another one of these. There's not going to be another new Bitcoin spot ETF. There's not going to be another new massive onboarding of all these companies into the crypto space. And Joseph, that's too big of a question to even try to attack. A lot of things. But I would say global perspective is super important. Macro does matter. The world is going into, and most parts of the world are in, a recession right now. Good news is probably not a depression, but a recession for sure. So also bear in mind that we're investing into a market that's going up while the rest of the world is going down. That can create a bunch of very perverse behaviors. But try to remember that navigating this very volatile investment market over the next 12, 24 months, it is both art and science. You can reduce almost all of the emotion out of it. You want to have a lot of emotional control. You want to be a very strategic thinker. You want to be employing game theory, being aware of your own cognitive biases, understanding that just due to the nature of this kind of investment game, you have to balance risks and returns. You have to maintain discipline. And you have to remember that the best decisions you made were before you purchased an asset, not once you own it. Once you own it, you now have this emotional attachment to it. So you have to maintain discipline. You have to be adaptable. You have to steer through whatever crazy weather it is. I had a guy, one of my friends who was one of my managers, and he was telling me, I was like managing a big sales team. It was a long time ago. And the team was not doing so great. And there were actual macro factors at work, because I used to kind of look at like a lot of the, the numbers were not looking great. And he said, don't change your swing, right? Like if you're doing the right things, keep doing the right things, and eventually you'll start hitting balls again. Don't change your swing. So don't do all the work during the last 2 years and then get into this bullish market and then change your swing. Right? You can get through the choppiest, craziest, most volatile bullshit you can ever imagine just by breathing a little bit, stay calm. Yes, Howard nailed it. What is the best decision most times? to make no decision at all. And the main reason for that, and then we'll wrap it up for today. The main reason it takes so long to declare a recession is because it's a line that you've crossed in the past. NBR has to do that. I mean, all of the signs of a recession are here. It's pretty clear that we are in a recession. But what happens is by the time the NBR admits that we're in a recession, we're pretty much, we're on our way out of it. It's like when you're halfway through the forest, you're also halfway out of the forest, right? If you keep walking, no matter which direction you go, you'll get out. So it's kind of like that. People never want to admit, especially like, politicians and stuff. It's hard to get reelected on the, I told everyone everything was great, but I shit the bed. I don't know macro. And yes, we're in a recession platform. Those politicians don't do so well. The Janet Yellens and stuff of the world that declared we'll never have another recession. It's like, we'll never have another sunset. You're like, what are you talking about? There's one tonight. Nope. What do you mean? No, I see it. The sun's going down. No, that's not what you're seeing. You're seeing something else. Oh, okay. All right. So I think there was an article, John, unemployment is a very specifically cooked number. There's a lot of employment hoarding right now, but and again, I don't want to get off into this because we'll kind of miss the point, but I think if you look at the 40-week rolls, and I think if you look at the people that are leaving unemployment, not because they're employed, but because they've run out of insurance coverage, you see a vastly different picture. There was an article that we posted that was just showing that Google is laying off 30,000 people for AI. 30,000. You think it's only Google? You think they're the only ones? So anyway, it's going to be a very interesting time. Luckily, we're going into a worldwide recession and we're going into what looks to be like a crypto bull market. I guess that's the only thing that I agree with Jim Cramer, where he says there's always a bull market somewhere. Probably some truth to that. And we endeavor to find it. All right. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor insolvent drunk struggling on meth grandmother wouldn't do. We'll see you tomorrow, same time. We'll get into the goods. We'll look at our portfolios. We'll do some price predictions and all that. But that's going to be at Digital Investor. It'll be here, but then we'll go behind the wall for all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we will see you. Toot sweet. Can you say that? Toot sweet? I guess you can say that. It doesn't sound bad. All right. Until tomorrow, everyone.
If you're an accredited investor and you want in on angel, seed round or early round equity and token opportunities in the artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency space, schedule an interview at nickblacknext.com. In life, you can either be really good, really lucky, or just be first. Being first is so much easier. Schedule a digital private client interview today at nickblacknext.com.